Make sure to go and check out all of our latest merch at paddockmerch.com. We've got loads of new designs and even more products coming all the time. With 2 or more items, you get 20% off using the code Paddock20. And if you remember, there's even bigger discounts available. Link is in the description.
There's a noise in the studio. We don't know what it is.
It was most confusing, that.
Yeah, it wasn't my phone.
It wasn't your fault. Was it your fault? Is it you?
Might as well do not disturb. I'm very professional around here.
You are very professional,
He's not
Alex.
gonna last.
No, he won't.
Fucking attitude like that.
Hey, sort it out,
Coming
bro.
in being professional.
Have you ever seen this show? This video?
Of course.
You ever been on it before? Hey.
Never been on it.
Professionalism is not what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So shut up.
Yeah, pack it in.
Where's me brew?
What a good-looking question.
That is, yeah, that's a very appropriate question, actually.
Come on, Callum.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Come on, Callum, with your sad butty box. In fact, Cameron, grab his, go upstairs and get it.
Oh, what we need? Yeah, there's milk. Yeah, we'll just have the one camera angle, whatever. I learned that.
Show me Callum's butty box, because that's.
Wow, let's have a look.
That's
Don't take the mick
sad.
out of his butty box.
It's
Sorry, right. I get
sad.
that this isn't great viewing for everyone here, or shouting off camera, but Callum, our producer, has got a butty box. What's in it?
Sadness.
Yeah, despair. It's
Very
full of
bleak
despair.
apple there.
An apple and a what?
Is it a fake Twix?
A knockoff Twix.
Go get it. I'll time you.
Right. No, let's not get his butty box because that is just not
No, you can't
interesting to anyone other than us, and even I'm losing enthusiasm for it. To be perfectly frank.
Alfie says, why does that lad look like a chubby Cam?
Oh.
Oh, that's offensive on several levels, Alfie McShane.
Seeing it, though.
Santa Notch.
Apparently it was his birthday. So
Yeah, I wished him happy birthday on his actual birthday. And you're his mate, wished it him a day later.
I don't go on the main feed of my Twitter thing, though.
How do you even manage your Twitter?
I just live in the... So I went on my Twitter analytics the other day. Are you ready for this? In a month, 17,000 mentions.
And only 16,412 of them were insults.
Yeah.
So
That's so
And you
much,
calling
innit?
someone a dick.
No wonder I'm fucking nuts.
But like, to be fair, there was a time when you used to take the mick out of me for arguing on Twitter, right? And I packed it in.
I bet if you did the maths, I bet I'm replying to less than 0.1% of it as well.
I think you'll reply, yeah, and I think you're replying to less than 0.1% of actual humans. I think a lot of them are just bots, but you don't care. You're the only man I know who does.
I'm an equal opportunities arguer.
What, they've got no followers?
Everyone
that
can
doesn't
get it.
matter.
Everyone
I'm
has a
going to
voice.
quote tweet them to highlight their account.
Today's first day on Twitter. Definitely getting it.
And he's getting it. Get involved in the comments. Give us a like. By the way, that's Alex Johnson, if you don't know who he is.
Nice to meet you.
You know me and him are, the other two.
All right.
Yeah.
How have you been?
I'm doing well, mate. How about you?
All right. Probably not talking into the mic there, but I'll tell you.
Yeah, just good.
It's hard to look at.
Yeah, can you go move it round? Yeah, we'll do this for you. We'll help you. There you go. We've done this before. This isn't his first rodeo. We did the Spain versus Italy Twitch, didn't we?
Well, we did the Everton one last week.
Ah, the Everton. Oh, you was on the Everton.
I was.
Watch along. Yeah, there's a watch along tomorrow for Leicester game. Where are you tomorrow?
Somewhere.
Stretford Paddock FC second
Go on.
versus third in the
Go on.
table.
Oh, had a good win last week, didn't you? Hey, son.
Fucking right, good win it was.
Right. Yeah.
Missed the foul. Some controversy.
Why
Some
did
people
they- why
thought
did
it
they set
wasn't.
him off on this?
Thought it was a foul. Turns out it wasn't a foul. It's a fucking. Oh, sorry. Turns out it was a foul.
Have you got your balls back yet?
No.
He had his balls nicked. If you weren't watching on Monday,
Someone's playing with your balls, weren't they?
Listen.
Steve's after his balls.
Oh, I'll tell you lot because it's funny.
Go on, just
So,
keep it to yourselves.
Yeah, don't tell the other club. They stole 2 of my balls, and I was like, "Cool story, nerds. I'll steal your best fucking player."
Oh. He's dirty, you know. Dirty boy.
Give me
How
some
they
of
want
that.
to play it.
Fuck about and find out.
As they say in Droylsden. Juan Martinez says, I love this. Sorry, a bit off topic. We don't have a topic on this show. Like, we've never had one. We might have a thumbnail and a title, but if you think that's going to be the topic,
We have themes
Yeah.
which we regularly, constantly regurgitate, but it's not a
there's
topic.
not a topic. I don't want to pretend there is. But did you guys see the wonder goal by Alphonso Davies for Canada? Welcome back, Marcus. Also, keep up the great work. Thank you.
No one watches international football, mate. Relax.
Oh, I'll tell you what, though. You're lying because you did see a pass by Fred.
I saw a pass by Fred that doesn't constitute watching international football.
You showed it, mate, and I was worried.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone's going to see that pass and go, Fred should play for United, man.
Is it possible for him to play for United more?
Oh,
I think that's half the argument, isn't it? Yeah,
Fred's good now.
Fred's Fred.
Pled, yeah.
Fred's played a banger. Or even Fred has played
We've
a
broken
banger.
out soon. Finally.
Yeah, so
That's what worries me, though, because...
honestly, like a prime Scholesy ball over the top. You're just like, who the fuck
The
is
vision.
Yeah.
that? Who's that in Fred's shirt that played that?
Do you think, though, it was a good ball, but Neymar's got a little bit to do, because he's got it's on his chest, so it's not like...
It's international football. It's
yeah.
fucking wanking it.
Yeah, to be fair, it is, and I agree. I can't be doing it. The best thing about international football is it gives us a slight break from the madness. And when I say slight, I mean slight, because in some respects the madness increases. But it just gives us a little bit of like a fortnight to try and do things that we've been trying to do for ages.
Listen, why don't we make
Go on.
January?
Yeah.
Since everyone doing that, I mean, you've been doing it for a bit longer than everyone else, but everyone's doing that January, trying to get in the gym, trying to find some new fucking mates after the carnage that you've ensued at Christmas, right? And trying to save a bit of dosh. Why don't we make that International Football Month, right? So you go away for a month with your international team, you get it all out the fucking way, and then you can have it again in June and July for the international tournaments. And it's just dealt with.
Yeah.
Because when they pick that first squad, it won in like the end of August that they pick for the first week in September.
Yeah, there's like 2 games in. We start the Premier League and then it's straight.
Who are you picking on form in that? No one's even had a chance to get form in that. You've played 3 games. So that's a load of bollocks.
Yep.
Then you got the October one, which is just as the season's starting to warm up, is an absolute kick in the balls. Then you got the November one, which is usually wank. And it's just a never-ending, pathetic shit.
Do your mate as well, Wenger, wants to do it every 2 years? The World Cup.
Yeah, they're trying to say that. So what they're going to do is they're going to come up with some utter carnage.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, no, we're not doing that. And they go, all right, what about that then? And you go, fucking hell, that's better than what you just
They've still got more football.
Yeah.
They've got win-win.
Are you inferring this could be like a Super League scenario where they go, we're going to do this utter nonsense. You go, no, we're not having it. Right. And they go, okay. And then while they're doing that, they actually change the Champions League to make it worse. And everyone's all right with it.
They said, but they do the Super Bowl every year.
tickling my nose.
They do the Super Bowl every year. So they should do the World Cup every year, but we have the Champions League for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent for. We don't need more international football. It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse in the World Cup next year, in the middle of the winter, isn't it?
The one good thing about international football, though,
I'm going to try and go, though.
is Manchester United players always get treated really well by the press after an international tournament.
Definitely.
Flawless.
I cannot remember any issue with any United player following an England defeat.
Nope.
Never.
Not once.
The country has rallied round him. The press has rallied round him. They've made him feel, positive and welcomed when they've got travelled to away grounds. The away fans come to Old Trafford have always got behind the United players.
Who was
following
the Spain manager?
an England loss.
What's this he's just said?
I mean, it's heartwarming. It makes me proud to be not just a Manchester United fan, but English as well.
Anyway, who was the Spain manager for 2008? Was it Luis Aragonés?
It was not Del Bosque, was it?
I think it was Del Bosque, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not Aragonés.
No.
I think it was Del Bosque. Let's have a look. Helps if I could spell. Vicente Del Bosque was the Spain manager from 2008 to 2016.
So was he during the tournament, or did he not?
Yes, for the 2008 World Cup. Yes. Hang on a minute. Oh, God.
Aragonés. Oh, sorry, click on Aragonés. So
Oh, I think you're right, actually. I think it was Aragonés for the 2008 World Cup. I've proper done this.
Do his honours. Just go to his honours.
Oh, sorry. Is that down there? Yeah, isn't it?
Kind of around the block.
Spain, European Championship 2008.
Bosh.
There you
Right,
go.
so Luis Aragonés.
Yep.
When it started to appear in like the early noughties that Spain was developing a ton of technically gifted players,
Yeah.
which to be honest, that bald fraud down the road was a big sort of pioneer of, really, and sort of became an archetype of the player that they wanted to create in Guardiola. For those who were
I will not have
hard of brain.
Dion Dublin referred to as a bald fraud. He's an absolute renaissance man.
So when they started to have a proliferation of all these sort of technically gifted footballers, Luis Aragonés came out and said, so they're called the Red Fury. That's the Spanish nickname. But he was also saying it should be the philosophy of the Spanish national team.
Yeah.
And all this tick-a-tacker shit is not what it should be about. And then he won the European Championship by playing that. He played like fucking 7 midfielders, didn't he? Or something?
Yeah, they played no striker, didn't they?
Yeah.
I know. I went off tiki-taka, mate. Do you know what I mean? It was good for a little while, and then it became like everyone was obsessed with tiki-taka, and then it was like, it almost got to a point where you went down the Louis van Gaal element of not quite that to that extreme, but
86%
possession. Just keep the ball.
4 shots.
Yeah, it's like, do you remember
Whatever
the 2010 World Cup?
Away.
Like when Spain playing was it Holland in the final? That wasn't too bad, but I remember playing Germany, and it was just boring. It wasn't a great game.
That Spain team went like 3 hours without scoring or something.
Yeah, and it's just like just boring the other team to death.
The City, they're similar like
yeah,
that.
just
They
keeping on the ball.
the teams out of.
And you think, even if you're watching a 3-2, it's end to end. It's more exciting than watching a 1-0 that's, a goal after extra
Styles
time.
make fights, man. That's the whole thing about it. Styles make fights, and
Yeah.
there is no correct way to style a team. What Leicester did with Ranieri a few years ago was like pure 90s English football, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was.
Or even 80s, a lot of people might even say. But it was very, very direct, on the counter, over the top, percentage balls into the channels. I mean, Tony Adams would have been fucking pulling his pud stupid watching that, I'm sure. And then you've had what they play under Brendan Rodgers, completely different. What Manchester City play, obviously highly stylistic. I mean, what Liverpool plays, a proper throwback to the 80s in a big way, just with more inhalers.
It is. Get involved in the comments. It's interesting, though, Steve, because I've seen you arguing this point on Twitter, which isn't like you to argue, but you do now again. Because people have this thing, don't they, about styles.
I didn't mean to make this a point.
No, I know, but it has become a thing of like style and what's all this style, especially when it comes to United.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Because people was like, oh, he's not even got a style of play. I was like, cool. Well, Bielsa's got a style of play. He's still going to finish in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah.
Because there's like,
So
I think
Dyche.
people literally think,
yeah.
Sean Dyche has a style of play. You might not like that style of play, but he has a defined style of play. A style of play doesn't win you games. Fergie did not have a defined style of play. His style of play was to be pretty flexible and change it quite often, actually. As often as he changed his assistant managers, maybe more so. He was extremely flexible.
Yeah, the 2008 team is nothing like the 1994 team in terms of the way we played.
And it was extremely counter-attacking. At its best, counter-attacking. I remember so many times of that sort of horseshoe shape of possession, just being passed around, looking for a probe, and just not getting it. Like, people act like it was wave after wave of attack, like the last 3 minutes of Nou Camp all the time, but it wasn't.
No, you're right. John George says, yes, boys, my cousin just dies and I'm in bits. The only thing stopping me from sobbing like a little girl is this live. Much love. Sorry for your loss and thanks for tuning in. And hope you get John George saying that, he's the star.
R.I.P., mate.
Yeah. Also, Reese Robinson says, how many Leicester players would make our starting 11?
The league winners are this current lot.
Let's go with this current lot because we've got them, haven't we?
I'll take their 2 midfield holding players.
They're the first 2 I'm taking.
Is that Ndidi and Tielemans?
Yeah. You put them in for Fred and McTominay, and I think everyone would be like, I don't mind 2 in the back.
It's all right, that team,
midfield.
innit?
Yeah,
Would you have anyone else from that team? Would you have, remember when Maddison was linked with us? And
I'm not saying we need him right now, but Cassius Michael deserves a decent shout-out because we've seen his record for the Euros. He's not conceded a goal in the whole qualifying
Isn't it weird,
stages.
Cassius Michael, that he's never rated, is he, as like one of the top keepers? Yeah, he's won the league, he's won the FA Cup, he's done like
Denmark got to the semi-finals.
Got to the semi-finals of the Euros with a let's be honest, not the most.
Do you know what his career is
gifted
like? It's a bit more of a successful, I think, version of Shea Given. Really good Premier League keeper.
Yeah.
And that's really about it.
Yeah.
We're never going to talk about him being the best in the world. But if you had to have him in there, you're not going to lose your fucking sleep, are you?
No, and it's not easy, is it, to win the league as a keeper? Do you know what I mean? You have to have a certain level, don't you? Because especially when you're at Leicester, like there's such fine margins with some of those results they had. If you remember some of the games they had. So yeah, he's decent. It's my second favourite Schmeichel, behind Schmeichel the dog. Peter Kelly, member for 16 months of the academy, says were they developing a group of technically gifted footballers, or did the period of time come where all the benefits of PEDs they were taking show?
I'll answer that.
Go on.
And we'll say allegedly at the start of this because I'm going to say some shit in here. Probably.
Right, allegedly. Have we got the allegedly graphic?
Get it back up.
So, hang on a minute.
So yeah, they were.
I'll find it. Go
they
on.
were developing a system of technically gifted footballers, but it goes back. Germany started this 20 years ago, Belgium started this around a similar sort of time.
That's the question.
And Spain had been on a journey of doing this. I can't remember who else is doing this as well, but there's government-funded coaching courses. And I read a stat at some point. Germany's got somewhere in the region of like 8 times more UEFA B qualified coaches than England does, which is a similar sized country.
Right.
Britain does, or UK maybe. It was one of the, whatever it was. Somewhere like Belgium's got 6 times more artificial pitches than we do, because you'll see when the fucking lads are playing there of a weekend, some of the surfaces you play on, they're not conducive to good football. They're not conducive to having technically gifted footballers. Because if 4 months of the year in England, which is like the middle of our seasons, let's be real.
Yeah.
When you're playing your most football, when you're training most frequently, you're playing on pitches where I've seen my son tackled by a puddle. He's been running and it's hit a deep patch of water and the ball stopped and he's carried on running, and because you can't account for it, can you? And he's just stopped dead. Like, this is something English players have had to deal with, and you see that direct long sort of technique is actually the best technique to use at lower level, at grassroots level in England, because it's the only thing that sort of levels out those pitches.
Yeah.
Get it out of midfield because it's an absolute bog. Get it forward into the channels where you're close enough to the goal to be able to shoot.
Yeah.
Now, you couldn't have played that Spanish style of football
Tiki-taka.
on, which was it was an insult, by the way.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Diego Simeone. It was dismissive of tiki-taka, sort of like.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't meant to be praising or descriptive. It was a piss-taking comment. But if you try to create a team like that on English pitches in the winter, you'll never do it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to hit a divot. It's going to hit a slide tackle trough. Like it's just going to go everywhere. You can't trust a pass on some of the pitches that you got in England.
No.
3G pitches, 4G pitches. There's some brilliantly gifted young players coming through in England at the moment because of those 3G pitches.
Do you think that makes a big difference, 3G pitch? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You can see 6 and 7-year-old kids trusting their touch, trusting the teammates, because they're able to play ball and they can play one touch. And if you do end up as a youngster that goes to an academy, all of the training pitches that you're going to have are going to be like carpets like that. It's the grassroots that you've got to struggle
I
through.
remember when I was a kid and
I'll have a drink of water, shall I, since I brew it?
Yeah, it's on its way. And I remember once our coach was just lining up cones, on the edge of the area, and then towards the edge of the other area, and just that's your drills. Just try and clear it to those cones.
It's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, like that was training.
And we go, wonder why we never created a Ronaldinho.
Don't worry about hitting the man. Don't worry about that. Just get it over there. We're only about 13, 14. Just get it over to that cone line.
Yeah. Who's got the biggest toe poke?
Yeah, just welly it.
Son,
that was the tactics. Because in the middle of that was just a marsh. Santa Notch says, shout out to David Brooks. Obviously, he's got Hodgkin's lymphoma, something that Santa Notch apparently has recovered from as well. So, yeah, thoughts of him, the Bournemouth lad. Hopefully, he makes a full recovery.
Lance Armstrong had? Or a similar thing?
I think so, yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you're right. That news broke yesterday, so yeah, we wish him well. Hopefully, he makes a full recovery. We had the lad Taylor. It was Max Taylor, was it?
I saw an Instagram story of him saying
you play for MK.
Something like you can beat him, can't you?
Yeah, he was at United, and obviously, amazing story. He recovered and carried on playing. Aman Saxena says, when are we going to see Housen and McCullough together? As in Housen and McCullough Uncensored. You will find out when the time is right. That's something that's a secret at the minute, but
subscribe, see what happens.
Yeah, subscribe, maybe. Become a member. You don't have to become a member to see that, but just subscribe. Hit subscribe, because we want to get to 700,000 subscribers by
tomorrow.
Now,
we're gonna fuck it all off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but yeah. Steve, you were talking earlier about your balls.
I do that.
Yeah. Before we went on air, he was showing them me.
On an actual point upstairs. A proper, should we get HR involved conversation? I was asking the girls about ball toner.
Why do you say these things? I mean, I know you're being honest, because that's what went down. But why do you have to say it on the live videos? Yes, he was, because he cares, about his balls, and so should you. We've got some exciting news from our friends at Manscaped. They've just launched their 4th generation performance package. The ultimate package includes the lawnmower 4, not 3, 4.0. Yeah, you heard that right. the leaders in male grooming have done it again to take your grooming game to the next level. Don't say anything. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with their new performance package 4.0 by going to manscaped.com for 20% off. And you get free shipping with the code Paddock Live. Because we've all been there, haven't we? There's a link in the description. Thank you, producer Cal. There's a link in the description because we've all been there, haven't we? You were discussing it where, you know, you're in your birthday suit and your better half says, what's going on down there? I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? That's not happening tonight.
You can send a pack over to your team you played the other week.
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
Go, lads.
They could do that. So you have to look after down there.
So you got both my balls. Go and look after them.
Yeah, exactly. You got to look after your balls. Look after these, whether your balls in front of your belly.
Caught in 4K.
Belly? Where did I keep my balls? Or the balls he's talking about. And don't worry, because Manscaped have got you covered with their new 4.0 technology and the performance package, which includes, as he's mentioned, the ball toner. So you're going to smell nice and fresh. Yeah?
Look after your balls, because people will carry them away.
It's also got, and I love this, it's got a ceramic blade that's cutting edge to reduce grooming accidents.
Cutting edge, JJ.
Yeah, nice. Because we've all had it, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? Where you've cut yourself shaving, shall we say. Yeah, well, that cuts all that out. And also, you've got a travel lock.
John Shinshed, Steve and I are going to Manscaped together at 1 million subs.
Right. Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, 100%. 100% that's got to happen.
Me and John have got a little catchphrase going back and forth, and it's mostly going forth from me.
It is. Go on, tell everyone it is.
It's shut the fuck up, John.
Right.
And never has that been more apt.
No, it isn't. I think that's fair. I think you and him manscaping together at 1 million subs live on a video. Not on this channel, obviously. But you can do that
Sounds
on a
like
different
a Twitch
channel.
Thing, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like it definitely does. I'll be twitching watching it. And that's a different story. So you've got the Weed Whacker, which is waterproof. It's got 9,000 RPM, 360-degree dual blade system. You've also got the Crop Reviver ball toner, and you've also got boxes as well. They're throwing in boxes and a travel bag, the Shed travel bag.
On a serious note, them boxes are belting for the gym.
Do you know what I love about this as well, right? This is my favourite bit. It says on the Lawnmower 4.0, it's got a multi-function on-off switch.
Yeah.
I love that. Because
and it's off.
I am sick of buying things where it's either on or off and that's it. With this, it's either on and off. You've got both options. So check it out, manscaped.com, Paddock Live, links in the description. It's just the links in the description. It's not Paddock Live. That was a test and you've passed. The link's in the description. Go and click on the link. Get 20% off. I know. Get 20% off and... Oh, that's probably because I was reading the wrong one.
Don't worry about it. Listen, can I just say as well?
Go on.
Christmas is round the corner.
Go on. Save me here from the disaster that was this.
If you're a bloke, we all know you're going to leave it till the 23rd of December before you try and panic buy something in the Trafford Centre like you do every fucking year.
Are you in the Trafford Centre on Christmas Eve?
I've done it.
I reckon. Are you in there?
We've all been there.
Let's not pretend we don't now, lads. You know what I mean?
Man.
There's not a woman for fucking a week to be seen. Yeah. It's just blokes going.
Not of appreciation.
So listen, it's October.
Yeah.
Why don't you get a couple of Christmas presents boxed off right now by going to Manscaped and getting yourself some fucking ball stuff for the gentleman in your life?
Yeah, there you go. 20% off, free shipping. Use the link in the description. You don't need a code. Ignore all that Paddock Live stuff because it's not Paddock Live, it's Howson's Brew. So you don't need any of that. 20% off, free shipping. You get all that, the crop toner, the Lawnmower 4.0, the ball preserver, the Shed travel bag, and the boxes. It's all there for you. Go and check it out. And thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring Howson's Brew.
On a serious note, though, I wish
your balls will
something like that on and off switch. Yeah, and the Brews come. The A10, I know that's nerdy talk for everyone. The fucking A10 don't even have an on-off switch. So you just have to fucking yank a plug out of it to undo it. So some things do need a multifunctional on and off switch.
What are you laughing at, you?
I think the tea looks good. I'm not sure about the coffee.
The coffee?
I don't drink tea or coffee.
Tell you what,
Anyway.
Do you know
Got
what?
any selection
we were
boxes
talking about them
preach?
marshes we used to play on, the muddy marshes. I think he's just put one in a cup for me. Listen, I appreciate the sentiment. Yeah.
Tea's all right, Cam. You can come again.
Have you put sugar in that?
I think we got the wrong one.
How many's in
It's
that?
because no sugar in that, is it?
Have you
I
got
need
sugar?
2 sugars.
I need sugars. We're having a disaster here. I'm having a disaster with that read, and he's having a disaster with these brews. Anyway, thanks to Manscaped. Go and check it out. There's a link there. Forget all that description stuff. There's a link in the description. Yes, someone's laughing at your son was tackled by a puddle.
True story.
Happens to have the best of us.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just pure standing water about 3 inches deep.
Yes. Do you remember that iconic picture of Something. Yeah, something.
Oh yeah, don't they made a fountain out of it?
Yeah, the splash. Hey, back in the day, they used to play in all sorts of conditions, didn't they? Do you know what I mean?
Old Trafford never seen a blade of grass till 1976.
It didn't, did it? Do you remember when we started going, late 80s, early 90s? What was that pitch like?
Sand.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. It was unreal that
that
was a pitch of a... Whoa, don't use it all on him. I need some as well.
You're sweet enough.
Nice try.
Well played.
Right, because I'm worried that there's hardly any left there. Because I've got a bit of a sweet
Probably correct to be worried.
Yeah.
Callum thinks I've used too much coffee.
Have I done my How to Beat Leicester preview? I have. It's
have
out
you?
there.
What's the key to that?
The key to
Give
beating
a sneak
them.
preview of your preview.
The key to beating them, to be honest, I think we've just got to attack. I mean, both of our first choice centre halves missing.
Yeah.
I think it's all about United getting on the front foot.
Can we get him in the shot here? Can we see it? Can we
Tea
see
lady.
it? Come here. Get him on. Come on.
We're only getting an arm.
There you go.
What you should do is go and stand
He's
next
a
to
good
Al.
lad.
And just see what you'd look like if you put about 2 stone on.
He's got a master's degree and everything. Much better.
Yeah.
Massive improvement.
Past
Well done.
What the fuck
We'll
is
bring
going
that.
on
We'll bring
here?
that up on your next 1-to-1. Right. Should we move swiftly on? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's been talking.
I was talking about Leicester.
Oh, sorry. I've asked you preview. I thought you just said score more goals than him.
No, so Leicester at the minute, they basically... Brendan Rodgers and... Do you like Ollie goes, oh, you don't know what he's doing, let's get Brendan Rodgers in.
No, we
On a
don't say
serious
that.
note,
Anyone who says that.
I've read that.
Yeah.
On a serious note, though, Brendan Rodgers doesn't have a fucking clue what he's doing this season. He has used 4 formations.
Foa?
4.
That's madness, Stephen Howson.
Do you know what that is?
Madness.
If you'd used 2 formations and maybe you was coming out and saying, oh, this lad's not had a good game maybe, or we're not quite there yet, you go, he's trying to fix. When you've used 4 formations, Jay, and you're flipping between one and another every single week, do you know what that tells me? You don't have a clue what the fucking problem is.
Play,
so you have no idea what you're going to fix.
The thing is, right, with the whole... I'm not going to get into the debate, because we've done a debate, and it's on the channel. Go and check that out with Scotty and Maka and Joe. But regardless of whether you believe in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or not, Brendan Rodgers isn't the answer. And the argument, he's won more than Ole has in Britain or in England or whatever, or he's more. That's not the point. Like, if you're gonna get rid of the manager, get someone in who is shit hot, not someone who's just bottled it at the end of the season, pretty much every season.
For the Newcastle job, isn't he?
Yeah,
he has been linked with.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I just feel like, regardless of what your thoughts on Ole,
Leicester
Brendan
had
Rodgers.
loads of injuries though. Oh, you might want to go and check how much Paul Pogba played for us last year.
I mean, yeah, for me, Brendan Rodgers is not the answer at all. I mean, they were nailed on for 3rd, weren't they, a couple of seasons ago when we finished 3rd, and they just massively dropped off. They dropped off last season. I know they've had injuries, and I know they've not got the resources that we have and other clubs above them have, but still, Brendan Rodgers isn't the answer. He's just
Would
not.
I take Enrique United? Now, this is a really interesting
That's
one.
a good question.
Because he won a treble with Barcelona, right? And obviously, Pep Guardiola won a treble at Barcelona. I think he won 2, actually, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't win him back-to-back, though, did he?
So,
Mourinho stopped him, I think.
So winning a treble with anyone is a hell of an achievement. But this is the sort of demonstration of a manager just kind of needs to keep everyone motivated and happy.
Yeah.
It's less about tactics than people want you to believe. They clearly have an impact, and there's clearly something in it. But you're not talking about going from fucking Pep to me, are you? You know what I mean? Like, there's clearly going to be a level of competence with most top-flight managers.
I think Ranieri's a great example of that. I think he got his 11 that worked and stuck with it for once in his life.
Pizza and Budweiser for him and kept him rolling.
It wasn't... If you watched a lot of Leicester that season when he won the league, it wasn't tactical genius. It was, we've got a strategy that works. That ball, like, Kante gets hold of it, he gives it to Danny Drinkwater, he fires it over the top, and that odd carrier gets on the end of it and scores goals. And that was it.
The guy that's on 14 Red Bulls and tweaking like fun.
Your inspiration.
And it works. And it was like anyone on the planet could have picked that Leicester team because everyone knew what it was going to be the next week because he didn't change it. Yeah. It was, I think Fuchs came in now and again, but that was about it. But it was like, he didn't like have to mix it up. And when he was playing against United or playing against, one of the teams that's struggling, it was the same.
Same drill.
Yeah. And it worked.
And that's what I think most people overstate the importance of a manager. A great manager is going to take a team to overachieving, and a shit manager is going to underachieve with a team. But for the most part, most managers have a little impact. Like Leon won 9 titles on the spin, and he went through 4 managers in that period. Did they just happen to appoint the 4 best available managers in the world to win them the league, or maybe they just had the best team.
Is genuine question, is Manuel Pellegrini one of the best managers the Premier League's ever seen?
Do you know what I mean? He was clearly not even as good as David Moyes based on what he achieved with West Ham, yet he's won a league.
Yeah. And, Mancini's
So is he a better manager than Louis van Gaal?
Exactly. It's a great point because I think it shows if you've got a very good squad, you've got the resources. Yeah, listen, I'm not dismissing. You can't be an idiot and just go in and win a league. You have to have some sort of knowledge, whether that's just keeping players up.
Kenny Dalglish might suggest
all right, that's a fair point. Well made. You have to have some ability to keep players happy, to just sort of, even if it's more of a sort of coaching of egos, which I think at City had to do a little bit of because he had a lot of big name players. Then that's your sort of skill set. You don't have to always be that sort of tactical genius that some people are made out to be. Matt G says, anyone else, this is one for you, Steve. Anyone else shocked we've not seen Rennie back at MUFC in some capacity, or has he turned down an opportunity?
I believe the opportunity's not come, based on the conversations we had with him here.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? And he was very candid about it. I also saw, what amazed me about that? I saw you replying to someone on Twitter, I was asking you about it, and it was like a story comes out about Merlinstein back to United, and you think, oh. And when I look where that story had emanated
Paul
from,
Parker reckons he should be back.
Yeah, that's it. You nailed it. Which, and I like Paul Parker, but he's not in the know. That was just him going, oh, yeah, Rennie got to do well there. Rennie, the coach, who was like one of the most successful coaches we've ever had, he'd probably do a good job going back there as coaching.
It's one of the most easiest things to say, isn't it? Just what did go well? Just bring him back in there. Hopefully it happens again.
Yeah, it's like, I reckon Sir Alex Ferguson was pretty good at managing.
So Barath in the comments there, but the best modern managers, Pep Mourinho, etc., learn from Dutch managers. Also, Luis Enrique was one that I think was there during Louis van Gaal's time.
Yeah.
They're pretty much, I've spoken about this at length because I'm a fucking bad nerd for it.
You are a massive coaching tactics geek.
I am, yeah, and I don't fucking dispute
I'm not
that.
having a dig, it's just,
There's a lot of them.
Get a life.
I mean, they come from, Rinus Michels really is the godfather of all of this, but the one everyone's going to understand and roll with mostly is Cruyff. So Cruyff and Rinus Michels have basically birthed all of these. Louis van Gaal, Pep Guardiola and Jose, even though they're different, and Louis van Gaal, like it or lump it, and even the likes of fucking Ronald Koeman and people that have come since then, Frank Rijkaard, these are all disciples of Johan Cruyff. And then you've got the German lot, which have been influenced by Dutch football directly as a neighbour. A lot of that comes from like Ralph Rangnick's sort of school. When I heard that Ralph Rangnick has been sort of mentioned as a possible director of football for the Newcastle takeover, I was like, oh shit. Because if they get him, that means they actually know what they're doing. Because I'm kind of hoping they just fucking, get like fucking Shearer and fucking David Ginola in the mix or something like that and just throw loads of cash at it, because hopefully that's just going to fucking implode, innit? But if they start making smart appointments and it's like Rangnick and maybe a bit of an astute manager that wasn't on everyone's radar, and you go, oh fuck, like...
This is the thing, because we had a financial expert on. I don't think the video's gone out yet. I spoke to a financial expert the other day. We'll get that video out soon. But he was saying, like, you forget that Everton has spent like $500 million. They've literally spent, I think, the most amount of money out of anyone in the last 10 years or something. And they've wasted it all, more or less. And now they're at a point where they can't continue to do what they've done. They've had to stop doing that because they haven't had a good system in place. They haven't had, like you said, the kid that you're impressed with, who can oversee everything and knows what he's doing. And like, we know that City and to a lesser degree the Scousers throw a lot of money at things, but they've got a system in place that helps facilitate that. So you can have someone like Pellegrini winning a title, him moving on, Pep coming in and taking over.
Yeah, as long as you've got a guy that's overseeing your general club philosophy.
Yeah.
Like, I if you give me the fucking role of director of football at United, don't reckon that call's coming. But if you give me that role at United...
I'd love it if we could get odds on you for that.
You probably could.
I reckon I'd love to see that.
So
I'm screenshotting that one straight away.
I would do something similar where you go, right, okay, so my head coach now is going to probably be a 5-year appointment cycle, I would imagine. Because I don't think 3 years is quite enough. I think you really got to see it a bit longer. But the project can't... At the minute, like, people are like, well, Ollie's been there 3 years, and look at this guy who was maybe like a succession appointment for somebody else, has had a better appointment in there. But when you look at some of the succession appointments, they're more successful quicker because, like, someone like Guardiola, for example, Manchester City were playing Pep's way 3 years before Pep arrived. Their academies have been playing that way for 10 years. Like, as soon as they got rid of Gary Cook and got Bajiristen in, and you went, these are fucking serious now, fuck. Because there was an absolute laughing stock, weren't they, under Gary Cook?
I miss Gary Cook.
I know, he was sensational, wasn't he?
You know, some of the
kept
things,
City where they belonged.
The thing, comedy has always been what this club is about. I remember when he said that about City, and I love that. I thought he gets it. He's City through and through. City. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot, isn't he? That's what he was trying to say. He's a fucking absolute flannel. So... when they got Bajiristine in, and you knew that they're gonna, and it was Soriano's the other geezer in it. Oh fuck! Now they're serious.
Yeah,
it's like literally like if Newcastle bring Gary Cook in, just rub your hands. It's gonna get hilarious for a couple of years until he realizes he's a fucking moron and get someone else in. But that's what you've got to do is you've got to find appointments that fit your plan. Pep Guardiola was always the plan of this regime at City.
Yeah.
So the club was signing players ready
well
for
said.
him to step
People
into.
forget that. So Sterling, De Bruyne.
Didn't you bring in Jesus?
Right, players come in before they arrive. Like even with the Scousers, like Salah, long-term target. You know, it's not just a manager comes in and goes, I want him, or a manager comes in and goes, oh, I've got these players. Oh, that's handy. They know they had a strategy and they think we can get him. When he's not going to stick around at Bayern Munich, we can get him here. Yeah. And these players fit his philosophy, his system. Yeah. United have never done that since Fergie retired.
No, and you're supposed to. If I'm director of football, as I'm interviewing one manager, I've made a short list of 10.
Yeah.
And as soon as I've appointed Ole, sound. I'm also talking to Ten Hag, maybe Pochettino for a laugh, just see what he says. Yeah. X, Y, Z, all these other managers that I've got in the mixer. Maybe it's a Zidane, maybe it is a Conte. All of these are going to have slightly different philosophies, but we're going to have, here's what Manchester United stand for, and here's what we're going to appoint along those lines. And we're going to go, what players would you be looking for? Give me your team in 5 years' time. And let's see where that lines up. And we might have our own ideas of players that we've been tracking for a couple of years. There's a centre-half that's at fucking Swansea that we've had our eye on since he was 16. We're going to try and sign him before he hits that top level. And maybe one of the managers you interview is like, there's a lot at Swansea that I like, and you're like, fucking hell, yeah, we're on the same wavelength here. That's what you want, is you want a manager that you think's going to fit the philosophy of your club and continue it. Because what Manchester United did after Fergie to Moyes, he didn't have a pot of glue what was going on. He was just trying to find out. He was literally like a rabbit in the headlights. Then we went to Louis van Gaal, who's got a seriously defined philosophy and system of play. And we probably needed more time for us to adjust to him.
Me and you disagree on this a little bit, don't we? Because you think a third season would have been interesting, don't you? With
yeah, I do.
I think it was unfair the way he got treated at the end. And winning the FA Cup and going, "You done, mate."
Yeah. Would you? Because I understand what Steve means about a third season. I just couldn't stomach it. I could not.
I don't think it'd have been the same.
I just that second season did me in.
Yeah.
I'd had enough.
And looking at
what I mean?
Mourinho
Honestly,
available was appealing to us, and it was appealing at the time.
I think there was a lot of things that went on that season that I look back at, and it wasn't great. I heard Mourinho's name being chanted at the ground, which I'm not into.
At the final,
I saw.
I remember on the tube back, and it was like Mourinho's been appointed.
Yeah, sacking him when he's just lifted the trophy. I mean, I know you've got obviously contacts and you quite ITK with certain things, but it was common knowledge that Mourinho was taking over
from
at one
February.
Point. Yeah, I mean, it was the worst kept secret in football.
I got told at Carrington in a youth game in February, and I was like, okay, you'll see the change in the attitude of my videos. Maybe we should look at Mourinho.
No, that's the only time me and you've done a video where it's not official, and we did it anyway because it was just so. Barath asked your opinion on Ten Hag, guys. I'm curious. You've been talking about Dutch geezers.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some like Graham Potter is getting a lot of love at the moment.
Come on, no,
but
let's be real.
Can you manage some of the egos?
No.
Yes, we don't. Well, the answer is we don't know.
All right, yeah, that's fair. But I just think someone like maybe Ten Hag's not quite that level. But Graham Potter, who seems like a lovely guy, plays football a nice way. Is he coming in and suddenly telling Marcus and Pogba and Bruno and Ronaldo and Cavani, this is what I want you to do, and having that level of respect off them where they're going, okay, yeah.
What if you won in the game? I mean, Solskjaer can put his medals with...
No,
not really.
Manager.
No, because Ollie's won like back-to-back trophies in mould and titles. And like, I know he's not...
But what he won... I think players look at what you did as a player.
And also...
And not many of them can look him in the eye, to be honest.
And also, Ollie would have been reserve team coach when the likes of Pogba was a kid. Mm-hmm. Marcus was coming through the ranks. So there's that thing of it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Graham Potter's going to come in and I did well at Osterunds or whatever I can't pronounce it, and I got Brighton to 15th or whatever. It's a hard sell that for me.
Yeah.
In that
these echoes
room.
of what Moyes did there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like
I'm not knocking Potter, by the way. He's a good manager,
at
but
West
still.
Ham, top, and I think he might be perfect for West Ham, like he was perfect for Everton.
Yeah.
Some managers, like Pep Guardiola, if you give him to Brighton, does not get them playing as well as Potter does.
No,
I guarantee it. He does way worse than what Potter does with this Brighton squad. If you give him a team trying to fight relegation, like a West Brom, or probably a bad example, but a team that was fighting relegation, Big Sam's better than Guardiola for you.
I know people will go, "What you're on about?" But Guardiola's used to working with a certain level of players. He plays a certain way. But Guardiola's allowed to do that because of his talent as a manager, and he has got talent, and he's earned the right to do that.
It's the right tool for the right job.
Yeah,
and Sean Dyche has done it consistently for Burnley.
And it's like...
But is he going to do it? If you give Sean Dyche's City team, could he win back to back?
I think that's why he's never left Burnley, doesn't he?
No, I just think as well, that it's a good point, Alex, because would any fan want Sean Dyche? Like, and do you respect? Because
Burnley fans do.
No, other than Burnley fans. But if it was like, say you're a Spurs, or, Arsenal, if it goes even worse for Arteta than it has done, but, if it goes wrong, would they be in for him? Would they be like, Dyche is the answer?
I think a lot of it's PR and the perception of managers.
Do you think that's what it is?
Big way, yeah.
And the whole thing with the whole social media about Burnley is that they play the same football and it's not negative and it's...
Yeah. I think, you know what, I know you've clashed with him on social media, but when we had Duncan Castles on the channel when we Devils, I know he becomes a figure of fun for a lot of people, but he was speaking about it. He spoke about Pochettino and he's very aware of his own stature in the game, and he plans it. You know what I mean? Like he's very sort of conscious of the PR element of the game and being the right man in the right time and all that sort of stuff, and why he wouldn't take certain jobs or he was wary of what job. And I think he's worked well because he's ended up at Paris. He's not he's not had a good first season, but he's got a second season.
He's a former Paris player.
Yeah, I mean there is that, and also now he's got a squad that is the envy of almost everyone in Europe. Yeah. So. That PR sort of element does ring true. Burns, not just because the Castle said it, but other people said it as well. Burnside is back, says, have you gone back and watched Maguire Shaw this year? Damage coming from that side is why you can't keep clean sheet. Shaw, childlike defensively. I want to ask you about this because I think this is a fair comment, and I don't think Shaw and Maguire have looked the same since he come back from the Euros. And I like both of these players, by the way. This isn't a vendetta before anyone gets involved in that nonsense.
I think there's a bit of a European hangover for a few players. Probably not just them, but they're the ones I'm noticing the most.
Yeah.
I think with Pogba's playing on this left-hand side channel, Pogba's not a winger, is he? He wants to be more in that central. So Shaw, we've always played down the left-hand side, don't we? Always like Rashford on that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Shaw's been attacking on that left so much more because there's no one else out there. So he's doing the overlapping runs of himself. So Pogba's coming inside, and I think that's leaving us more vulnerable on that left, personally.
I just, Shaw has that trait as well as
back, though.
Of tucking in as well. He doesn't go right out to his man sometimes.
I mean,
I think Marcus makes up for that because Marcus will do that for him sometimes when
Pogba ain't getting back.
He ain't doing that. And it's like, I don't mind that for Paul Pogba because I don't actually think we need him to do that.
Yeah.
But if he's not, then you have to have a left back.
I think it's a mix of all of it. He's done played the whole Euros, hasn't he? They both have played through to the final. And obviously, Shaw play was so high last year. Like, he has come down a little bit, but yes, he doesn't look as good as he has been.
Yeah.
But he's still a top left back.
No, he is. I mean, Steve, you're as big a Marcus Rashford fan as anyone I've ever met.
I'm interviewing Shaw soon.
What, really? Is that for you? What for?
Yeah, that lad who used to play for QPR. Me and him are interviewing him.
You and Jason Parker interviewing Luke Shaw?
The other fellow.
Fabio?
No.
Oh, sorry. Right, I get it. Yes. So when is that happening?
Soon, I think.
Yeah. Are you going to tell him that he won you over after 5 hard years of not being convinced by him? Are you going to throw that in?
He's fully aware of my thoughts on him.
I've heard, and I'm not naming names here, I've heard through the grapevine that more people are aware of your thoughts than you'd expect from that dressing room, actually. It's cost us a few interviews in the past. But at least you can't say we're not honest, and you can't accuse us of being in the Glazers' pockets or any of that nonsense we hear, because we wouldn't be getting chucked out of training sessions if we were.
I think me and him on the thumbnail's going to do bits though, innit?
Yeah,
just looking at each other like that.
Yeah, like.
I think we're gonna have to have a chat before we go on air. Put it that way.
Yeah, I think you will. So when's that out? Sorry, when's that taking place?
Not filmed it yet. It's soon now.
All right.
I think in the next couple of weeks.
Because Shaw, it's gone from one extreme to the other. Shaw was a player that when we brought in Alex Telles, people going, Telles could actually be first choice. People forget that. Yeah? And then it went from that extreme to, by the end of the Euros, people saying that Luke Shaw's the best left back on the planet.
That's the problem, is people are so reactionary.
Yeah. And it's like, now you've got...
my opinion on him was never completely, get rid of him. When he wasn't good, I was saying he ain't good.
Yeah.
And then when he was starting to get better, I was like, okay, he's getting better, but there's still this, and this. And people are like, you just hate him. He is Shawberto Carlos. And you just think, fucking get a grip, lads, honestly.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see that. But yeah, I think his levels have dropped a little bit. Maguire worries me a little bit, because not worries me in the sense that I don't think he's going to turn around, but he hasn't been himself. I think some of the performances we've seen from him a little bit not Maguire-esque.
Ollie's been trying to get us playing out from the back.
Yeah.
I personally don't think Maguire can do that.
Really?
He looks, and then I've watched him in front of me at the game. When he's coming out with the ball, he'll sometimes just pass it back to De Gea. And a couple of times, we did it against West Ham, Bone was in. And
Can I ask you who his options are, though?
That's
the
problem. That's the problem. It's the middle. So it's the whole squad playing. I'm not saying that Maguire can't do it. It's the way we're getting coached to do it.
I could play out with Michael Carrick in front of me. I could play out under pressure with Michael Carrick in front of me, because he makes himself available.
This is the concern, because I actually disagree slightly. I think Maguire can bring the ball out.
It's just sometimes he doesn't look.
I know. I get that.
And he just
plays
it.
Certainly
and he was fuming at him.
I'm more worried about, you've got two extremes now in that defence.
Notch, the Shaw cult's been taken over by the Donny cult. Who's the next cult?
That's a great question.
Because it went from Tony to Shaw to Donny. I haven't missed any out there, have I? I think that was the...
I don't know with Shaw. I don't know if it was the cult. I still feel like Marshall FC went to Donny FC. I think Shaw became this sort of thing where everyone likes him. The cult with those players is... With Shaw, the thing with the cult thing is, it's weird because you go, why are you so convinced? Like with Shaw, I could get it. I might not agree with it completely, but I can understand it. Like you say, all right, he's playing really well. He's playing a lot of games. He's doing, he's scoring in the Euros final and things like that. It's understandable. When you've got a player that's played 4 starts in the Premier League or something, and people going, he's the answer to all our problems. Yeah. When you literally interview him and he says things to you like, I've played some games in the 6, and everyone's going, he's got to play in the 6 every game. But he just said that's not really.
I also spoke to some lads who trained with him.
Yeah.
And because I was like, just give me I said, where's this Donny stuff coming from? I said, is he pulling trees up in training where you go, fucking hell, he's got to play? And he went, he's a lovely lad. I went, there's your answer. Because you've just told me Marcus looks razor sharp and can't wait to see him in the team. And I've gone, Donny, and they've gone, lovely lad.
Lovely lad.
Yeah.
You tell you what, he's always getting around in Donny. He's always got his hand in his pocket. Have you ever got a lift?
Wrong.
Yeah, have you ever got a lift to training?
Because that's what you want, innit?
Yeah, he tell you what.
He's any good, but he's lovely.
Lovely. Lovely lad.
My nan's lovely. She's not number 6.
Yeah. I tell you, he's not shining, lending you a tenner of your skin. Oliver Lewis, who's been a member of the Academy for 11 months, says, have you guys seen Ted Lasso on Apple TV?
No, is it any good?
Did you guys enjoy it? But I've heard quite good things about this. I looked at it and thought, that looks like the worst television programme ever.
I'm just going to watch the Last Dance for the 15th time. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of praise for it, so I don't know, it's not quite tickling my fancy, but if I ever get...
Oh, do you know on that whole thing about appointing ex-legends and stuff? That's literally all Barcelona do, by the way.
That's a shout, isn't it? The thing with Barcelona, though...
That's literally one... They've got 4 criteria. I can't remember the other 3. One of them is knowledge of the club.
Yeah. The thing with Barcelona, though, is for the last, 14, 15 years, whatever it is, you've had arguably the best player on the planet there. And also, you've had...
Messi as well.
Yes. You've also, exactly, you're right. You've also had at least 3 or 4 other world-class players there.
Well, they regularly had 2 and 3 in the Ballon d'Or top 3, haven't they?
Yeah, Xavi and Iniesta. Busquets, who's just sort of the perfect 6 almost for them.
Yeah, PK.
PK, yeah. So you've always had that. So Dani Alves is another one. So you're coming in like, if you're, an Enrique or whatever, and you're inheriting a fantastic side where, with United, the difficulty we had was when Fergie retired, some of that team was coming towards the end. And it was like...
The majority of it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really?
it needed that overhaul that was just completely beyond the capabilities of David Moyes.
Rio didn't agree with me, by the way.
What?
I said Fergie would have sold you beforehand if it weren't for the Glazers.
Go on, explain that.
So when you look at the 5 years that preceded the Glazer takeover, he got rid of fucking Stam, Beckham, Keane, all as they was reaching a peak, or they've reached enough of a downslope from the peak that he didn't think they were worth the risk of sticking around in the dressing room. We only played 26 games in the title-winning season in the league.
In 2013?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
I
to
thought
me-
he was fantastic that season, by the way.
Yeah, he was, but that to me suggests that you got to remember how ruthless Fergie was before the Glazers came, and then he was suddenly no value in the market, fella. Do you remember that?
Yeah, no, of course I do.
So when you look at his, because it's all about people's actions rather than their words, right? So the same with all his press
Very
conferences,
profound.
right? Ollie says, "I'd love to keep Ashley Young around. Get fucking rid of him." Right? Same with Alexis Sanchez. Alexis is a wonderful player. We're trying to figure out how to keep him in the team. Twitter loses its mind. Get fucking rid of him. Right? So the actions are what matters, not the words. Fergie, prior to the Glazers coming in, was going bonkers on breaking record after record and retooling the squad in a ruthless manner. David Beckham, we've had a row. We had rows with players, right? Decided that he thinks he's too big for the club. Fucking laters. World class, by the way, when we got rid of him. We won the league in 2003 because of David Beckham supplying Ruud van Nistelrooy. That's it, right? Gets rid of him. Roy Keane had a bit of a row. No longer the player he was. Get fucking rid of him. Yap Stam had a bit of a row. Get fucking rid of him. So he didn't have a row with Rio, but Rio was coming to the end of his powers. Now, I'm not saying that he necessarily would have fucking given a bullet, but he would have replaced him. Yeah. Now, Rio's argument was, well, he was trying to do that with Jones and Smalling, and I think he's got a little bit of a point, but I wonder if he would have gone for someone a bit of a younger, Ramos maybe, or someone different at that time, Varane even.
Well, he wanted Varane, didn't he?
Yeah.
Also, I think, you put me onto this, the Soccernomics thing, with Stam in particular, and I think Fergie, I admit he made a big mistake because he misread the data. The data was saying Stam wasn't making as many tackles per game, and it was an example of not reading the data and realising what it's telling you. He wasn't making as many tackles because he's reading the game better, and also strikers were avoiding him. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're up against Stam and Berg or whatever, and I like Henning Berg, but you know what I mean? You're going to go and stand on Berg. You're not going to, like...
Go.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, just, I'm going to go out wide. I'm just avoiding that crazy Dutch fella who's just imperious. Yeah. So he misread it and got rid of him too soon.
Yap Stam. There has never been a player come close, Jay, to doing 3 years in the Prem, 3 titles, and bounce.
No. In his last season, he played...
Flawless.
He only played 15 games last season. We didn't lose any of them. And one of them was the 6-1, was it, against Arsenal, which more or less sealed the league. The guy was just phenomenal. And I'll die on this hill. The best centre-back, no respect to your mate, because he's the second best, but the best centre-back I've ever seen. And all this nonsense about Van Dijk.
No, John, I don't think Stam was sold because of his book. What I actually believe, I think there might have been something in either his ankle wasn't as fully healed as they thought, and they've probably run some tests behind the scenes, and he was maybe half a second slower on some tests.
Yeah.
I think that
I think there was, I think you're right. I think there was misreading the data, looking at his age, looking at the money that Lazio offered, even though they didn't give it us, and thinking, and also, like you were saying about, that recycling and the rebuilding. All right, with that money, I can go out and go and get a Rio Ferdinand, because it still pains me them two never together. It's like,
can you imagine?
That's just cancel football. We've won everything. It's
God.
over.
I'll go in there. Don't worry about it.
Have you seen this? Sorry to change topic. Have you seen this league table that's been generated?
Is it by the Scousers by any chance?
No, it's not.
Because they love an alternative league table.
No, there's this league table. Let me find it for you. Because what's amazing about this league table, right? A computer has generated. I've
seen it. The supercomputer.
A supercomputer has predicted the final league table. I'll send this to you, producer Callum, and you can see if you can get this on the screen. Because
I've just seen something in 4th and 5th.
Yeah, because what I love about this, right, is it's got all the goals and everything, and who's going to finish where, obviously, like a league table. They've got Chelsea, right, conceding 4 goals this season. Yeah,
it's not many goals, that.
Right. Now, the only issue with that is Chelsea have already conceded 3, right? So for the next 31 games in the Premier League, and this supercomputer only did this the other day, so they've taken into account the fact that Chelsea have conceded 3 goals. They think that Chelsea are going to concede 1 goal in the next 31 games.
Well, defence wins titles, Jay.
That's just like...
Hasn't it got City and Liverpool doing the Invincibles as well?
It's got City and Liverpool both doing the Invincible. Oh, no, sorry. City and Liverpool doing it at home. But it's got Chelsea winning the league on 99 points, only conceding 1 more goal to end the season. It's got
United losing 6 away games. We haven't won it, lost in 30.
Yeah,
you can suck my dick and balls for that, for starters.
It's got some.
And by the way, we come 5th behind Brentford.
Yeah, it's got Southampton not winning a game all season. By the way,
Arsenal are 13th. It might be right, you know.
It's got Palace not winning an away game. It's got you can see it on the screen. It's got some absolute carnage on there that is slightly optimistic, shall we say? So yeah, it's.
Supercomputer. Why is it not a computer?
Why
is it always a supercomputer? Is he wearing a fucking cape, Jay?
What's the difference between a computer and a supercomputer?
It's a cape.
A cape, yeah. You put your cape on your computer. I mean, there's just some absolute madness in there.
It wears rimless glasses for when it's walking on the street.
I'm going to say that supercomputer is shite. Yeah, I mean, some of the nonsense in there just doesn't make any sense. We're going to wrap it up there anyway. Go and check out the link in the description for Manscaped. Thanks again for them sponsoring us. Check out the lawnmower, 4.0 technology and all that jazz. They've got the 7,000 RPM motor. Your balls will thank you. Don't forget, it's 20% off and free shipping. There's a link in the description. 20% off and free shipping. Terms and conditions apply. Alex, where can people find you?
John07 on Twitter.
Good lad. Stephen Alston, what are you up to this weekend? Who've Paddock FC got?
3rd of the league. Got United player at training tonight as well, by the way. Not telling you who.
I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not going to say. I was so tempted to say, does it rhyme with, but I won't.
It's a centre half.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave it there because I don't want to.
Everyone's like, oh, is it real? No.
I'm going to say something, though, just give it away. So, yeah, go and check out Paddock FC if you're not doing already. Check out Alex. And don't forget, check out Manscaped as well. We'll be back tomorrow with the Leicester Watch Along. Thanks for watching.